As the dawn of day 10 starts, I take a look at some of the different kinds of fish I caught so far. Seeing all the different types of fish that still remain, I set sail with a singular goal in mind. Make enough money so I can afford the upgrades needed to catch them all. As I fish for some cod, I notice that the wind is taking me into a very specific direction. Where is the wind taking me? The wind is taking me somewhere. What are... Oh, I can dredge here. No. Oh. The wind is taking me here? What? Add it to the cabin. Despite the wind bringing me to this bottle, I do not stop and read it. I don't know why. But I continue down the path and fill my cargo with some metal scrap I obtained from dredging. To fully fill up my cargo, I catch one more cod, one more plank, and then make my way back to Greater Marrow. As I dock, I pay a visit to the dry dock and start handing in the first materials for the lights and the engine upgrades. And then, do I want more engines or more rods? I don't think I want more engines. I quickly sell all my fish to the fishmonger and then brave the night to do a little bit more fishing. Loading up my entire cargo with squid, the time has passed to be nearly 4 in the morning. As I dock in Greater Marrow once again, I am greeted by the mayor that I look a little bit tired and that getting ample rest is the key to survive in the open waters. In the end, I don't go far and fill up my cargo with mostly eel. I sell everything and decide to add the hydraulic rod to my cargo, which allows me to now catch oceanic fish. Having equipped my new rod, I'd venture outwards towards the waters to catch my first oceanic fish. It is a bronze whaler, and I am amazed by the look and the size that it takes up in my cargo. Oh my god. I venture a little bit more south and find a fishing spot that has a weird glow to it. Later, I would connect the dots and see that the glow indicates the chance of an aberration fish. As the night begins to set, I reel in some more paper and find a pile of loose debris that can be cleared with strong explosive. This discovery was so shocking that I crashed the boat, causing it to have some damage and me losing some cargo. As I move along the coast, I come across a stone that hums quietly and gives me the option to place my hand on this stone. Ooh, place my hand on the stone? The cold stone does not respond to my touch. I quickly make my way back to Greater Marrow as I am followed by strange and dark whispers, driving me ever more insane. Due to my insanity and the time of night, more and more rocks just start appearing, and I have to do some quick swerving in order to not take more damage and lose more cargo. I sell my fish, repair the boat, store some materials, and then I let it roll into day 13. After a bit of fishing and collecting materials on day 13, I come across a ominous looking altar. A slab of rock. At its base, a rough shape has been chiseled away. Oh my god, you need to fill this with... This altar is asking me to fill it with codfish. Since this altar seems very intriguing, I make it my sole task to complete it as fast as possible. Seemingly having ADHD, I first make my way to Greater Marrow instead of filling up my inventory with cod, because I just sell what I have and then get my first upgrade on the boat. Remembering that I have a collect mission from the fishmonger, I decide that instead of filling up my inventory with more cod, I want to catch this black grouper. So once again, I abandon my quest to do the cods, but after some storage gymnastics, I have to discard one cod as well, and I return the fish to the fishmonger to complete that quest. After giving the fishmonger the fish for the quest, I get some passive items in return that allow me to catch fish, or in this case crab, passively, and that is I get a crab pod. This also allows me the opportunity to buy the crab pods from the fishmonger. Basic crab pod can be deployed. Oh, okay. Okay, give me that. Deploy a crab. Just drop it at sea anywhere, then come back after a day or two. I've got a customer after fiddle crab and common crab. Oh, what the? I decide to rest, and once the dawn of day 14 hits, I release the crab pods, eagerly awaiting what they can do and catch. A full day later, I finally achieve my goal of catching the cod needed for the altar. I fill up my cargo and make my way towards it. Filling up the altar, all the cods are washed away, and it reveals a cursed looking hook that allows me to catch coastal and oceanic fish. A hand line reel wrapped in a length of stretchy sinew. One end is crafted to the... Okay, so this allows me to get coastal and shallow. It has a fishing speed of 6%. That's not really good. After filling up my cargo with some eel and squid, I return to Greater Marrow to sell the items and have a closer look at the cursed object that I got. See, I don't know what is good about this thing. There doesn't seem to be anything good about it. Maybe I just don't know. After a bit more thinking, I decide to buy another light to boost my lumens during the night as I let it roll into day 15. I decide that I have spent enough time just hanging around Greater Marrow and look at my map to set my sights on the other islands surrounding this safe haven. Look at the map. So Steel Point is up there. Great Marrow, Blackstone Isle. It is pretty far to get to those points. I decide to venture southeast and come across a hooded figure who is swathed in dark blue ropes. He asks for my help and wants to receive a very specific fish, which I happen to have in my cargo. He eats the fish with his bare hands and asks for more. I will later come to learn that these are timed missions and that I need to give him the fish in a certain time before these missions become unavailable. More, still empty. They point, this one looks like a tiger mackerel. I have no idea where I can even find a tiger mackerel. At Greater Marrow, I spend some time deciding what I want to use my research points for. Loving the idea of making more passive income, I choose to go for the hardy crab pond, and I also look what I could potentially research in the future. So this one does 2 to 3 for 3 days. This one does 2 a day for 5. And this lasts for 3 and does 4, but has... It's a 5x4 and not a 4x4. Why would I just not go with this one? It seems the way better choice. Volcanic and shallow, and this one just turns into a fucking amalgamation. Day 16 is spent looking at the crab pods, filling the cargo with more fish, and making my way down west as I come across a broken ship that has several valuable trinkets near it. With day 17, I pretty much do the same as day 16. I look at the crab pods, fill up my cargo, but this time make my way towards Steel Point. The builder who I dropped off has no new items or dialogue for me, but after a bit of fishing in this area, the engineer's companion. Oh, it's a book. I decided to have my rest somewhere else instead of Greater Marrow for the first time since playing this game. Going into day 18, I find another shipwreck near Steel Point with a great amount of materials and valuables inside. Yes, please research for me, plus another trinket like that. Thank you, Wind. I empty my cargo at both Little and Greater Marrow and put a research point towards the twin prop engine. I fill up my cargo once again since I still have time and decide I want to give the net a try. I install the nets and then let it roll into day 19. Oh, that is interesting. I can just catch fish like... Oh, automation! Do I need to go past these in order to catch them? Doesn't seem like it, but I can make my way to some places. With both the net and the crab pod, I feel I can focus more on exploring instead of catching fish and affording all the upgrades. As I explore and fill up my cargo, I come across a key-shaped fishing spot, which gives me an ornate key, which immediately tells me that I need to give this to the collector. What is the... Okay, I need to bring this back to the collector. Okay. I make my way to the collector and he gives me a new dark power and tells me to venture away from Greater Marrow and towards the next relic that is located in an area called Gale Cliffs. After I rest, I let it roll into day 20. I make plans to venture toward Gale Cliffs, but decide to empty the crampons and make sure my cargo is empty first before heading towards this new part of the map. When approaching Greater Marrow, the old lighthouse keeper approaches me and tells me that my engine sounds just like an old friend of hers before returning to the lighthouse. I wrap up everything by selling my cargo, completing another quest for the fishmonger, storing more materials in the dry dock, and making certain I am prepared to head towards Gale Cliffs.